Hey book nerds, I'm Travis and this is Travis Reads Books. Today I'm going to be doing the Day 5 Booktube-a-thon challenge, and I'll be giving you a quick update on my progress with my Booktube-a-thon reading challenges. I missed the video challenge for Day 4 because it was a dress-up challenge, and try as I might, I could not fit into any of Sarah's costumes, and I own none of my own, so I had to skip that one. And now I'm back doing Day 5. And today's challenge is the Class Reading List Challenge, brought to us by Marisa over at Little Spider 9. And this challenge basically has us choosing a instructional course and then coming up with the reading list for that class. So first, an update. Now, I finished one book, that's Bubblegum by Sari Torres, and I immediately started in on Illuminae. But Illuminae is a big, heavy book, and I don't really want to be carrying it around with me every day, so I've also been working on A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I have on my Kindle. And on top of that, I found a new book called The Ones. I was just browsing Overdrive while I was waiting for a video to render, and it looked interesting, so I downloaded it. So I'm actually reading 3 books right now. Maybe I'll get them all done before the end of the Booktube-a-thon. Probably not, though. Okay, so the challenge. The course I've decided to construct is a course on complicated family relationships. And these are the books that I think illustrate some very complex family relationships. Number 1, The Lightning Thief. His dad is Poseidon. It's pretty hard to get a more complex father-son relationship than when your father is literally a god. Next up is Zombie by Darren Shan. This is a book about zombies, but it's also a book about a lot of other things. And one of the things that really stuck out to me is the relationship between the father and the main character, and the things that the main character, whose name is B, the things that they learn from their father, and how B kind of tries to get away from some of the things being taught by B's father, but at the same time, B is kind of drawn back to the lessons she's been taught all her life. It's a pretty interesting and subtle relationship to examine in a YA zombie book, and it's unfortunate that they basically ignored it for most of the rest of the series. Next up, Anatomy of a Darkened Heart. One of my all-time favorites. This makes it into just about every video I do in some form or another. This is a dark and somewhat scary novel about, I think at its core, it's about a mother and a daughter and their relationship, and the whole family too, but really mainly it's that mother-daughter relationship, and that is what drives the narrative and what ultimately causes all the terrible things that are going to happen in this book. To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm actually only about halfway through To Kill a Mockingbird. I paused on reading it to do Booktube-a-thon. I didn't want to do it for Booktube-a-thon because Booktube-a-thon is really just read. And I was really enjoying savoring this book, taking my time with it. So I'll go back to it after Booktube-a-thon is over. But from what I have read, the sibling relationship and also the main character's relationship to her father are certainly complex relationships. And family dynamic here, and the way Scout looks up to her father and is learning about him and coming to respect him more and more as a really good man and trying to emulate his behavior as she grows up, I think makes for a very complex and interesting relationship. Next is Outer Dark by Cormac McCarthy. It's a story about a brother and a sister, and although they become estranged and spend most of the book apart on separate journeys, it all really starts when they have a child together and then bury the child in the woods. So that's a pretty disturbing and complex relationship, I would say they have. Next up is Postcards by E. Annie Proulx. This is another of my favorites. It's a book that chronicles basically the fall of a family, the Blood family, and not a fall in the sense that they're crime lords or something. They're just farmers, and slowly but surely, as the years go by, uh, the family moves away. They lose touch with one another. They basically, it's a very slow, sad, inevitable destruction of a family, and it's kind of painful to read, but it's also very beautiful and very interesting. And finally, and part of this challenge was to work in one of the books on your Booktube-a-thon TBR. And Supergirl, Rise of the Cyborg Superman is on my Booktube-a-thon TBR list. And I think she also classifies as having a very complex family relationship. Um, I mean, you've got her cousin being Superman, so always being in the shadow of that is certainly going to have a major impact on her life. But more specifically, her parents, who are either dead or lost in the negative zone. It's not really clear where the continuity has them at the moment. But they're gone, and she has her adoptive parents, but her adoptive parents are also her CIA handlers, so that would make for a very complicated Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so that's my class reading list for complicated family relationships. If you liked it, be sure and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you'd like to see more of my Booktube-a-thon video challenges, be sure and hit that subscribe button so I can keep bringing them to you. Thanks for watching. Love and respect. See you next time.